Hi everybody, today we are going to paint some folk, abstract, minimalist, primitive, geometric, flat portraits, whatever you want to call it, because our focus is, once again, on making things simpler. For instance, I'm drawing this young woman here with flowers, but instead of following the exact structure of the photograph, I am simply using it as a point of reference. It's like I'm saying to her, I like you, but this is how I draw. So I'll change the hair, the dress, the flowers, and by the end, it will be almost an abstraction, and yet it is still going to be her. The same goes for this piece here, The Thinker by Rodin. Rodin masterfully captured tension and expression in this iconic work. The overall structure is complex, and yet it's a rather clean and concise composition. So if we focus just on the lines and shapes, we can simplify it even further. Not to make it better, of course, but only to make it ours. This style might look rather simple, and it actually is, but when it's done well, it can carry a huge amount of expression. It resembles linocuts where the paint looks almost stamped onto the page. It might look flat from distance, but when done organically, up close, you'll notice the texture and the movement within the surface. If you want, you can paint the background in a solid color, then paint your main subject on top, and then you go back in with that same background color to draw the negative space lines, which, by the way, it's a much easier approach. It's very similar to what we've done before with the flat animals and with a few botanicals, where we stretch, contract, distort, or warp the subject to fit the given space. It's a very interesting style, and when done well, it can be incredibly expressive. So if you're looking for something a bit different to explore, this could be a great technique to try out. I am using black on white, but you can, of course, add color. In fact, in case you want to check how it could look with color, we've already done a few exercises in this style using color, but I think that black and white just works better here, okay? And by the way, this is not pure black. I actually rarely use black because it tends to look a bit flat and lifeless. So I always add a touch of umber and blue to warm it up and bring life to it. By the way, I have worked in this style using all sorts of materials, from watercolors to oils, even wall paint. It's incredible versatile. And here I am using acrylics on paper once again, simply because they dry very quickly, and I've only got a few hours each week to prepare these sessions for you. Just so you know, all the paintings I've shown here are made exclusively for these exercises, and they're starting to pile up in my studio. Luckily, paper is quite practical and easy to store. So back to the process. I'm using a flat brush for the larger areas. And for the details, like the mouth, the ear, or the thin lines, I switch to a fine brush because some elements are tricky and a finer brush is just better for it. Okay. I would like to expand a bit on something I mentioned in response to a few comments on the previous video. So it's about the difference between those who are just starting out and those who are more established in their practice. When people are starting out, they often create work in order to fit in. They try to make what they think art is, often based on external standards rather than personal instinct. They might look to an artist or a group of artists or a movement or a trend and say, this is what art is to me, so this is what I will do. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I'm not saying that this is a bad thing at all because it is not. That process can help you find your way, and in fact, it might actually be your way. Who's to say? However, many established artists take a different path. They don't try to fit in, rather, they strive to stand out. They want their work to carry a signature, to be recognizable. They want people to see a piece and know instantly only these artists could have made that. That's why so many artists with classical training have eventually broken away from traditional methods to find their own voice. Many great artists we admire didn't just master technique, they understood their own strengths and, just as importantly, their limitations. They built their style around who they really were, not who they thought they should be. Take Picasso, who trained classically but then broke every rule, or Van Gogh, largely self taught, painted with urgency rather than precision, or Modigliani, with traditional training, gave us elegance through distortion, or Francis Bacon, raw and unapologetic, brought clarity out of chaos. Anyway, none of them were trying to fit in. They were aiming for honest self expression. So if your lines naturally shake, let them. If your ideas seem odd, explore them. Art is not an exam you have to pass, it's a language, and you speak it in your own accent. So please, don't waste your time trying to be someone else. Don't waste your energy trying to fit in. If you choose a style or follow a trend or walk in the footsteps of your favorite artist, let it be because that's your path, because it feels natural to you. Don't suffocate your own voice just to gain acceptance. Don't look for validation. Don't look for approval. This is the easy path to mediocrity, and you deserve better. Okay? So don't do this to yourself. What really matters is learning how to tame your talent in a way that is true to you and let it speak. I hope you've learned something new today and that this exercise helps you feel more free to create in your own way. It doesn't have to be what we've done today, but it has got to be you. The world has already too many of the others, okay? But maybe the world has too little of you. So do the world a favor. Bring you to the world. Okay? As always, keep on practicing and thank you for joining us.